NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources has been assisting families with home ownership opportunities and revitalizing neighborhoods and communities for over 20 years. NeighborWorks has assisted over 900 families with home ownership, graduated over 1,500 families from home buyer education classes, saved 82 families from foreclosure, and has provided $2.8 million in loans to assist families with home rehab assistance. NeighborWorks helps families and individuals buy, fix, and keep their homes. The traditional way of obtaining a home mortgage for low and middle income families and individuals is not as realistic today. With the help of NeighborWorks programs, we have assisted 900 families realize their dream of home ownership.
I started off by looking into traditional financing. I went to the bank and saw what I could do on my own, and it just wasn't possible by myself, which is why I looked into the USDA. A friend of mine told me about the USDA loans, so I looked into those, and they were able to get me a loan for this house that I'm in now, and it simply would not have been possible without that program. I wouldn't have this house if it wasn't for them.
Home ownership builds confidence and personal wealth for families and individuals. Homeowners provide continuity and stability and are more likely to live in a community 3 times longer than renters. The benefits of home ownership not only improve the quality of life for the homeowner, but the entire community. NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources partners with the South Dakota Housing Development Authority to build, purchase, and place new, affordable governor's homes in communities all over western South Dakota. Sherry Bald Eagle Bear purchased a governor's house for her and her 2 nieces.
Chose the governor's house because of the affordability, or it was priced right for my budget, and the space, with the 2 girls that I'm raising, it was just a pretty large home for them to grow up in. Being a homeowner it just gives me a new lease on life. We were living in substandard housing, very small. The girls will be able to now have friends come visit and be proud of where they're living, and still it's affordable.
NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources does not only focus on helping families purchase homes, we also help families and individuals repair their home once they become homeowners.
I had a leak under the house, and when I had a friend come over to help fix it, that's when we found a leak under there, and it wasn't because the pipes were damaged, it was because of the structural damage. It was separating the pipes. I was told to call NeighborWorks and called them, and they came to help, redid the roof. They did the underneath the basement, did a lot of supporting underneath there. They did my kitchen, and they gave me a new furnace. Part of it was a 3% loan, and the other part, and most of it was forgivable grants. And if I'd have had to do this work on my own, I'd be buried before it got done.
With the focus of revitalizing communities throughout western South Dakota, NeighborWorks have organized volunteers to clean up neighborhoods and beautify communities. Paint the Town is an annual event sponsored by South Dakota Housing Development Authority with additional assistance from Deadwood Historic Preservation. Since 1994, NeighborWorks and volunteers have painted over 80 homes for elderly, low-income, and disabled homeowners. NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources partners with Black Hills Power to assist low-income homeowners with the winterizing of their homes. Over 100 homes have been winterized throughout 10 communities in the Black Hills. An additional partner in neighborhood revitalization is Group Cares. In July of 2011, over 400 Christian high school youth and adults descended on Sturgis with the mission to assist elderly, disabled, and low-income families with minor home repairs. 57 homes from North Rapid to Belle Fourche received fresh paint, new stairs, and other improvements. To support the NeighborWorks mission of neighborhood revitalization, 17 block clubs in 7 communities have been formed. In 2009, Rapid City Police Department reached out to NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources and together created a neighborhood of choice, block club, and community garden.
The partnership started, we at the police department had a neighborhood watch program up here, and it floundered. And we had other neighborhood watch programs throughout the city, and they always seem to go really good when there's a hot topic, but they can't get any consistency. With this program, we were able to be consistent. There's training that we can go out there, there's resources and some small funding, but it all is designed for the neighbors themselves to be actively involved in the program. This neighborhood was one of the worst in the city for decades. With this garden, it also built camaraderie between the neighbors. It built some substance so that they knew they weren't alone. And an example is that house over there that's all boarded up. That house there in 2.5 years had over 500 calls for service. And the neighbors formed their own group of strength, with strength. They filed complaints against them neighbors. We went after them, and as you can see by the building itself, it's boarded up. The city has a do not occupy on it. It's been foreclosed by the bank because they were renting it. And the neighbors built a strong coalition amongst themselves. They revitalized the neighborhood. With that, our garden took off. Our city could not do this without NeighborWorks' help. They just have a strong substance that helps us generate positiveness.
When I first moved here, they wouldn't even wave because it was sort of a rough area. But since we've had the garden going, since we've had block parties, since we've got people interested, they actually stop, they talk to you. It's a community now. It's not a behind closed doors where it's safe.
Throughout our strong partnerships, NeighborWorks is able to leverage every dollar received with an additional $36 to support our programs and services. On behalf of NeighborWorks Dakota Home Resources Board of Directors and staff, we thank you for your support. We will continue to provide decent, safe, affordable housing and revitalize neighborhoods to improve the quality of life in our communities. Buy, fix, keep, and building neighborhoods together.